Hey guys, this is Banksy Gaming. Start things off. So I said to you guys I was going to release a Silver League tutorial for Terran, and this is it. It took me a little bit of time because learning Legacy of the Void compared to Heart of the Swarms, quite a big difference. And our original build that I was using wasn't quite working, so I had to tweak it a little bit. But I'm very happy with it, and it's leading in the direction that I want it to. So let's get on with it. Basics in Silver League, SEV production throughout. It's going to be all the way to Masters. Don't get supply blocked, obviously, because it's going to end your game for you. You're just going to be competing with yourself if you keep getting supply blocked. Keep your macro smooth. So that's keeping your production going all the time. That's SCVs, Marines, tanks, whatever it is you're building. In the build that I'm going to show you, just keeping it smooth, making sure you don't get supply blocked, make sure your production is going, and as minimal micro as possible. I mean, macros, I'm not saying don't do micro, but just try to keep your micro as minimal as possible, because micro can lose your games as well if you're not macroing in the background. And we're going to be going over these 5-minute targets when, after I've shown you the build at 5 minutes, we'll probably pause, and then we'll go through all of this. So let's get straight in the game. Just make sure that you guys could see it. And there we go, yeah, okay, boom. Alright, so let's get it started. So I'll put it on camera mode. And let me just make sure that the music's a little loud. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit. Alright guys, so build is pretty straightforward. But obviously for Bronze and Silver League it's going to be a little bit challenging. But you start with, actually I won't go camera mode because I'm going to be all over the place. So your first SCVs builds your supply depot, same as in the Bronze League. And on this build, the Silver League build, you're going to be introduced to gas, tanks and medevacs. In gold we're going to be, this is silver, but when we get to gold we're going to be going over your first scouting, like what you should be looking for in your first scout, like just a very basic scout. And we're going to be introducing upgrades. There is some upgrades in this, and we've got Stim Combat Shield. It's pretty much the only marine upgrades we're going to be using in the Silver League. And then tanks and medevacs are going to carry us through the Silver League. I found it pretty effective, and our macro is going to be the backbone of everything. So you want to put a barracks straight away after supply depot and continue building SCVs and never stop. And when you get 300 minerals, you're going to throw down that second expansion just like you did in the Bronze League. Ta-da! Okay, so that's that done. Then you're going to want to build a second supply depot straight away after this barracks. And evolving this build into gold and platinum. And don't forget your orbital command. So orbital command comes before the supply depot. I do apologize, that should have been noted. I always forget about that, but it's here guys, you can see. Boom, that was done before. And then you want to build a marine, and then you want to build supply depot. And the next thing we're going to build is 2 barracks. So it's very like Wings of Liberty build, the 1 racks expand. Only this is a 1 racks expand followed by 2 barracks, which I don't think you did in the Wings of Liberty build. Alright, so we're up to 3 barracks. And then we're not going to put our gases down just yet. We're going to get the 3rd CC, so we have a strong macro behind this. Now guys, just a little quick tip on the CC placement. This map's very nice. You can wall off your front wall, which I advise you do versus every race. And you can put your CC straight down here, and it's not a problem. But on some maps, you're going to have to put your CC up here and then land it onto your expansion. Especially if you're against Zerg, I highly recommend you doing that. Alright, so we turn this one straight into an orbital command while we wait for these 2 barracks to finish. And then we've got as soon as we've got like nearly 400 minerals, you're going to throw down our 3rd CC. The next thing we're going to do is new compared to the Bronze build. We're going to throw down our 2 gases. As soon as we have 150 minerals or 75 minerals, you're going to throw down both those gases. And then we're going to make sure we keep on building SCVs and throw down our mules on the expansion, not on our main. Because you don't want to run out of your minerals on your main quicker than your expansion. You want them to run out about the same time. 3 barracks continuously pumping out marines, which they are. and then we're going to put 3 SCVs into each gas, preferably before the gas finishes because you want them mining that gas immediately. Some people will struggle with that. You're going to have to learn how to use the shift click, shift, left click and right click buttons, but you'll get used to that after a few practices. So we're at 3 minutes 30. We've got good saturation coming on our natural, and I've rallied as soon as this is fully saturated, so 3, 3 and 16, everything gets rallied to the natural expansion. So as soon as you've gotten your 1 or 2 rounds of marines out, you want to throw down 2 tech labs. Make sure you get your orbital on your next expand, and the first 100 gas you get after throwing these down, you want to throw down your factory, and then we're going to get stim and combat shield as soon as we have enough gas, which we do not have yet. And supply depots, we haven't built any yet because we got 3 CCs, and the 3 CCs obviously are carrying us at the moment, plus these 2 supply depots. Get a reactor on your 3rd barracks when you get a chance, because you've got a lot of marines already, and that'll protect you through the early stages of the game. And we already have our stim already started, and our combat should be started now. There it is. And we get a tech lab on our factory. And as well, we've got 2 gases now on our expansion. Now they were thrown down in the middle of the factory, so when the factory is halfway being produced, that's when you would throw down your 2 gases, just to support everything that's going on. And don't worry about having too much gas, guys, because when we get to Gold League, that gas is going to be spent on upgrades, and you'll see it disappear. But in Silver League, you'll see the gas build up quite a little bit, but that's okay. So as you can see here, our supply blocks slightly. So throw down your 2 supply depots just a little bit earlier than I did. And we're just going to pause here and go to 5 minutes so we can catch our breath, and then have a look at the build as it's going out. I mean, this build is the standard build, and it's going to get stronger and stronger as you go up through the leagues and you get used to doing the build. It's going to take time. It's taking me time to get used to it, but it's a very strong build is what I'm finding at the moment, the more I'm creating it. So at 5 minutes, let's just go on to that. Let's go on to our 5 minutes, little 5 minutes targeting. So at 5 minutes we want to have 60 supply. It's a reasonable target. I couldn't really get above 60. I think in this video I got to 61, so that's an improvement, and I actually hit the target for once. 40 SCVs. I don't know how many SCVs I got, we'll find that out. You want 3 racks with 2 tech labs, and you want your 3rd CC to be completed. Completed, I think it is with the orbital command already, so we'll just see. Factory with your 1st tank should be finishing, and you want your stim and combat shield halfway done. So we're just going to go check, see, did I hit all of those benchmarks? And that's why I've put them there, so you guys can, because the video is quite fast, and you might get a little lost on everything that's going on, so that's why it's there. That's your target. And as you can see, I got 400 minerals and 86 gas, which is great. And our stim and our combat shields, it's a little under halfway, but you know what, it's not far off. The stim is, I'd say, quarter or a third. So that's that. And our 3rd CC, it is an orbital command, so that is great. And you can press U on your tab just to check how many SCVs you have. So for this video, wow, I have 42, which is a rare occurrence. I don't normally have 42. And I have 15 marines, and obviously the 3 mules, which is coming from the CCs. My 1st tank is not out, and in actual fact it's supply blocked, so that's something to improve on. I mean, you need this 1st tank to defend against rushes and just any tanks that are going to come at you. You got that 1 tank already. And then we've got our starport is being built, it's being created, which is not on the targets, but that's fine, So basically we've ticked everything on here, apart from the 1st tank, but it's being created. That's the main thing. It is there if we need it. I advise as well, it's not in this video, but you have the minerals. So there's 400 minerals spare I can do something with. I could throw down another 2 barracks by now, or I could put a bunker ready down here, or maybe 2 bunkers. But yeah, it's always good to have some kind of protection, so your tank comes out, you get a couple of bunkers, and then all is good, right? So we're just gonna continue this on in double speed. So like in the bronze, like I just said, so I had 400 minerals, so what did I do? I decided to throw down 2 barracks. So it's always good, you know, make sure, oh, alright, I've got all my Marines producing, I've got all my SCVs producing, I've got my supply depots coming. Don't want to get supply block like I did there. I could have been on 44 SCVs and that tank could have been nearly done. And that could cost me the game if I was in Diamond or something like that for sure. Because they could be attacking and I don't have a tank. But I would just pull all the SCVs and make it work somehow, but you know. That's how the game works, you know. Sometimes you're playing against yourself more than your opponent. So, I'm just going to show the first push. The timing that we're after, that I find, is we play defensive for a little bit, and then once we're happy and we're defended, we attack with 4 tanks, 4 medevacs, and a massive amount of Marines with stim and combat, and a good backbone macroed base. And I hotkey the first army to 1, and then just rally everything else to my main. So for silver, the first attack should pretty much crush your opponent, but it's all about that macro in the background that you're going to be looking after. And you can see here I got 65 SCVs and I stopped producing SCVs. So as soon as your third base is done, just stop producing SCVs. And you want to have that fourth base producing before you move out. So that's the kind of macro situation you want to be in. And as I said in the Bronze League, if you got extra minerals, just throw down a couple more barracks. You can see now I'm up to 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm up to 7 barracks now, and you'll see me throw down another 4 very shortly. I'm just going to keep an eye here. Right, so my army's moved out. They're going across the map, and I throw down another 4 barracks. So that's all happening. And I don't pay any attention to this army, I just send it across the map. Basically, when I say minimum micro, you'll see that when I show you the videos where I play against actual human players. In this scenario, I would siege my tanks here, and then I'd probably stim, and then I'd go back to my base, make sure that I'm rallying my next army, make sure that my micro is all sweet, make sure I've got no like energy on my bases, so all my mules are mining, get my 4th base in the right place, just setting myself up ready for when this army dies. Hopefully it traded good, and I've got another army ready to go and move out and kill him again. And that's how you're going to beat your opponent efficiently and effectively, is having that next army ready to go, and he won't have it ready to go. Maybe he's traded too much trying to defend, or I don't know, maybe he's just missed a few hits on the keys, he was surprised, you don't know. So that's it, that's the build, guys. So that being said, we are going to move into some human games. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna show you some human beings. So I didn't get a Terran versus Protoss, which was rather disappointing. I really tried hard to get a Terran versus Protoss, but I'm gonna show you this game. This game's pretty awesome. I make a lot of mistakes, and it's not as smooth as in the tutorial video there. I mean, that tutorial video is like something you practice on your own versus the AI, and you get good, right? So this person was a Masters, and I was Silver League. And I just want to show you guys, so at 5 minutes where we were, and then I'll show you a little bit of the battle. I mean, I really try hard to win this, because I realized the skill level of this player was really good, but I didn't build any upgrades, and I kept my micro as minimum as I could. Told the guy who I was, what I was doing. So yeah, that's always nice, just to let the players know what you're doing. And he said it must be boring start. And I was like, yeah, not really. Because for me, I'm really enjoying the whole learning the game again, you know, like getting the SCVs, getting my APM up a little bit as well, and just getting used to the build and learning the Legacy of the Void. So at 5 minutes, the benchmarks, and we're going to check his and mine. So as you can see here, I'm at 35. As I said, I don't always hit the 40 mark, but that's the target you want to hit. Because that's, you know, it's 50 minerals a minute times 5, so you're looking 250 minerals a minute I'm missing out on that I could have if I hit the target of 40. So that's what you're looking at. That's why you want to be hitting that. The Zerg is ahead by 10 drones, which is normal. Zergs are known for that. But I do have my tank, it's ready. My third CC is not though, and my starport's not out. But I do have that bunker that I talked about, having the extra minerals. Just throw the bunker down, you feel a little bit more safe, you know, you're not going to die to any banelings and stuff like that. And I'm getting the wall off on my natural as well, just so I feel safer as well. So I'm going to play this out, and also, as you can see, combat and stim is almost done. So that's pretty amazing. And this was in the construction of the build. I was trying to learn the silver build. I had 3 gases, but you actually need 4. But the 3 gases is enough for silver. But as I recommend, just go for the 4, because when we get to Gold League, you're gonna spend all that, and at least you'll be used to it, right? You don't have to like change much. It will be the same build that you're doing. The Zerg, there's not much to tell you about the Zerg. He's playing like a master, you know. He's got good macro, and he's spreading creep like a crazy person. He's really playing well. He's got his 4th base down, and we're gonna move out when we get 4 tanks. I threw in a couple of marauders. I got my 3rd base down. I don't know why I threw marauders in there. I just felt like throwing marauders in there, so I did it. And my macro is really not that good this game. You can see, like I've only got 5 barracks. I've thrown down 4 more now, which is impressive, I guess. It's getting there. Right, we're just gonna fast forward this a little bit and show you the push. So I didn't have 4 medevacs. I only had 2. I had 4 tanks, so my marines have the stim and combat shield. And so in this bit here, we both engage, and he's doing the corrosive bile, I believe it's called. Yeah, it's corrosive bile. I sieged up my tanks, and then I've stimmed my marines, right? That's all I've done, and I've pressed A and move. Now you want to avoid these corrosive biles, and the best way to do that is just like to right click and then move forward, and you'll see me do that. That's pretty much the only micro I do is that. The tanks do the rest. The tanks keep me control of this ground here. So we're just going to move this forward a little bit. So I push a little deeper. Again, I siege up, I stim, and I try to avoid the biles, and then I move a bit. And it pushes him back, and he's losing a bit, right? Trying to do all this fancy micro with the corrosive bile, and then he walks into my tanks again. But the most important thing, and I don't know if I'm doing it here, yeah I am. As you can see, I'm producing 11 marines, I'm producing a marauder, I'm producing a tank, I've got 2 medevacs, I've got SCV production still going. As in the training video though, you should have everything already completed. I think I have missed a little bit of a cycle there, but it's okay. And he's got 12 roaches, so he's not missing his macro either, so just going to move this forward a bit. So I do a scan and just take away some of the creep. The reason I do that is just so it prevents him from seeing when I siege or unsiege my tanks, because they can jump on there, right? I think he can still see, like from this one here, but not as much of my army he can see, so it's good to do that. It just push back the creep a little bit. And then now he sacrifices his army. He's sacking his army so he can kill my tanks, and that's his strategy here. And I just A-move. I don't do anything fancy, I just let him do his thing, and I just crush his army. And as I said, I've got no upgrades, and he's got 1-1, right? So his army is a lot more effective than mine. That's master play for you. You know, he's got his upgrades, he's got his army. So I don't just sack this army. This is another good thing as well. So so I did a little bit of micro. I go back to my base and do a macro, and I see that okay, I lost my tanks, and he's probably got another huge army. I can't see the army, but he's probably got another huge army. So let's just regroup the army. Let's get our tanks, and then we'll push again, right? So that's what I do here. Get them all regrouped, and then I push again. Because you kind of need those tanks just to zone out. And then I go back again and I do a crazy little pickup here. That tank should have been dead. It's on red health. I managed to save it because the tanks are valuable. We're only getting 1 tank at a time, right? And as you can see, I got loads of gas. So this is when I was first creating the build. Skip this forward a bit. So my army's getting out of control now. You can see the supply is starting to slip in my favor because I've not stopped building marines, marauders and medevacs, and it's getting out of control. I don't even need the tanks anymore. And I still haven't upgraded them, and he's on 1-1 still. He's got his 2-2 coming. But I haven't spent anything on upgrades. Just kept it to the silver build. He did a little attack on my base, but I had that army, which is rallied here. That's why it's important you have it there. And they're there, just ready to reinforce. So his counterattack didn't work. And I'm coming in now to crush this, whatever he has left. And once this army's gone, then it's GG, right? It should be. I don't remember. It was a while back I did this. And there we go, that's it, so GG. I actually didn't give me a GG. But yeah, I went to check his account and he was masters, so I was really impressed with that game. So that's me showing you versus Zerg. And then Terran. I'll show you the Terran game. Just so you guys see that it works versus Terran. So the tank play versus Terran is very, very important. You can't win with just Marines and Medivacs, not in Legacy of the Void, that is anyway. You can, but you will lose a lot of games just to tanks, because tanks just rip through Marines. Right, so we're going to skip to the 5-minute mark, because nothing really happens till 5 minutes. And this guy was gold as well, so it just again proves that this build definitely works in silver. And it even works in gold. And this guy's actual rank is platinum. Well, obviously at this moment in time he was in gold, so we got played against each other. Oh, this is a Zerg actually. So yeah, I don't know, I've clicked the wrong one, but we'll just have a quick look at the 5 minutes and then we'll quickly skip straight into a Terran game. But yeah, this Zerg was gold. After playing a Master Zerg, I wasn't too worried about playing a gold Zerg with the silver build. I felt really confident with the build. So let's have a look. So I'm at 36 SCVs, 15 Marines. Stim in combat is almost done, like a bit more than halfway. We've got the orbital command down. And our second base is saturated nicely. Again, we've only got the 1 gas, but you need to get the 2. But this was again before I made the tutorial video. And we've got that tank almost finished. So yeah, that's that game really basically. And then 40 drones, so he's lacking by 5 drones already. I win that game. I win that game. That's a nice game, that one. Okay, let me have a look where the Terran vs Terran is. It could be this one, I guess. I don't know why I never labeled it. So yeah, this is the Arturius. This dude is called Arturius, and yeah, he's a gold Terran. So this would be the one. Skip it to 5 minutes. And then we'll see the difference. You're gonna see a lot when you look at your replays. It's always good just to look back. Alright, where was I at 5 minutes? That seems to be the Legacy of the Void benchmark. And then about 6 minutes, 30 to 7 minutes is when you do your first push. You're gonna get some shenanigan plays as well. I had a video of somebody doing some shenanigan stuff to me, like dropping banelings in the back of my base, and I just ignored it and carried on. Or I had Mutalisk play and I just went and attacked him and killed him. But you're gonna get some people that do some stuff like, I don't know, all-in Marine U or something like that, and you just gotta brush it off. It's gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about it, guys. But the best thing is not to get broken down by it, and just carry on strong with your play and keep doing the build that you know. Okay, so this let's have a look here. So we've got Arturius is on 31 SCVs, so he's behind us by 4 SCVs. But if I was on 40 SCVs now, that's 9 SCVs. That's a hell of a lot of minerals difference. So our macro is going to be that much stronger by around about 900 minerals a minute, to be honest, if you have 40 SCVs and you can get to that point. It's a very easy play, and that's a gold league player as well. So our base at the moment on this one. So I was starting to implement Gold League, which is what I was talking about with the upgrades. So I had upgrades and my barracks, my 3rd CC with the orbital commands already done. You got the double gas. As I said, it gets spent into the upgrades. And I got double gas here already as well. And if I got my tank, I don't think I started my tank yet. So this gold build is under construction. It's not quite finished yet, but it's still very, very strong. Just show you this play out a bit. I think I move out with, yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 barracks. Supply blocked again. Damn those supply blocks. And I got 2-2 on the way, but we'll go into that when we get into Gold League. But yeah, around 7 minutes is when you want to move out. And with the upgrades, you can your Marines can take a good punch in the face by tanks as well. So yeah, guys. Anyway, I hope this has helped. Leave comments in the feedback bar. As you can see, I got 4 bases. Yeah, 4 bases is what you're going to be needing as you move out on the first push, and then you got your rally still here, my rally army. And this one, and in this game, I just kind of hold the 3rd. I don't push into his army. I just kind of go, okay, you know what? I'll make sure you don't get your third, but I'll get my third and my fourth. And I've got a rallied army here, right, so I can just pull them back if anything happens. And I've got 2-2 already on the way. And I think I've got like a massive amount of minerals and gas, which is really stupid. But this gold league is under construction, guys, so it's just a little taster of what's coming. Alright guys, yeah, just leave me feedbacks. And this is Banksy Gaming, and there'll be more videos soon. I'll be showing you how to get through gold, and then how to get through platinum, and then how to get through diamond. So when we get to gold, I'll be also showing you basic scouting and what you need to look out for when you're against Protoss, Zerg, and Terran. Okay guys, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.